flat. It was so windy. The sand was like whipping your ankles, and I was just like, "Where's the waves?" Like,
What are you doing, Shaun?
switching my fins out from my new board into my slightly more used board because I don't want to ding up my new board today. Some double overhead air drops coming our way.
Hey everybody, welcome to the North Shore edition of Kneeboard Talk. We are here with World Junior Champion Shaun Murphy.
Hey.
Shaun, we're going to put you on the griller, mate. We're going to put you on the griller.
Not junior champ.
Aren't you?
Well, I'm junior champ, but you know, not a junior anymore, I should say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to work on the opens finally, you know.
So you've been living in Hawaii now for a little while. Tell us where you were before. Let's get some history out.
Been in Hawaii 7 months, and before that I was in San Diego, living in Ocean Beach, surfing blacks and La Jolla.
So you're living in Wales?
Living in Wales, yeah.
And your dad worked for?
Oh yeah, my dad worked with Sony, so we were there for 3.5 years, and yeah, he basically ran this whole section of a plant.
Surf it all out there.
I remember I wanted to go surfing, and I think my parents laughed at me. The first time they took me to the beach, I started crying because we got there and it was like flat. It was so windy. The sand was like whipping your ankles, and I was just like, "Where's the waves? Like,
Where's
California?" Yeah. So I was a little shocked, but didn't surf over there. But we did a lot of like biking and hiking.
Okay.
A lot of sand dunes. Yeah.
Where did it all start for you? Let's get that question out of the way. Because everybody in kneeboarding gets asked that, right?
Oh yeah. So my dad's a kneeboarder. So when I was in middle school, I was bodyboarding, and I wanted to go faster, basically, and I saw how fast he was going, and my dad shot me his old Challenger fish and got up on it 7th grade, and after that was progressively 50% bodyboarding, 50% kneeboarding, and then it slowly went more and more kneeboard. And then by high school, I was predominantly kneeboarding and just competing in school bodyboarding contests. So there wasn't a lot of kneeboarding contests, so just juggled them both.
Okay. And your dad, he went well in it?
My dad competed a couple times, but no, he's mostly weekend warrior, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you made reference to being in Santa Cruz as like a teenager for the Worlds back in 2007.
Yeah, 2007 was my first. Was that? I feel like that was my first kneeboarding contest too, and then won the world juniors in that 2007, and then we just did New Zealand, and I was the pro junior champ there.
Okay.
Took that.
You gone in any other Worlds? So you did New Zealand, and then you did Santa Cruz back in 2007.
And I think I must have missed one. It was the Worlds in, was it Phillip Island? Was there one in Australia?
Oh, Kiama 2015.
There you go. Yeah.
Did you go to that?
No, I missed that one.
Okay.
That was the one I wasn't able to go.
All right. Okay.
I had to focus on school. Yeah.
Cool. So we're just winging along. What do you get out of the whole competitive journey with this thing? Because I've always said that competitive kneeboarding is kind of a contradiction of terms, you know?
Yeah.
So how do they both balance for you? Your free surfing, your contests, kind of like, where do you find yourself in it?
Contests for me it's a good time to like for all of us to, you know, get a bunch of kneeboarders together and kind of reconnect. But for me, I just like competition. I don't know, it's something exciting because I did competitive bodyboarding in high school and played water polo, so just that level of pushing yourself, you know, in a contest. You know, you do have to change. I do change up the way I surf a little bit. Contest, you know, I might go on some smaller ones that I wouldn't normally go on, but just to get points. But I mean, all in all, it's just, I think it rounds you out. Well, you know, you're not stuck in one, you know, mainframe all the time. You're like, okay, let me mix it up. Let me try something different, and just the desire to win. You know, it's just fun. Yeah.
Okay, so a little competitive game there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. Okay. You've been going in the US titles a while now. You've done a few events. How many are you running there? Done a few.
Yeah, I've done. I think I did 2 US champs in high school, the world champs. Then in college, I only did 1 or 2. Because college, I was up in Northern California and just broke college student, so there wasn't as much drive for me to come down. But then once I graduated, I started taking it more seriously, being healthier, enjoying it, yeah, making time for surfing, as opposed to just if it was convenient or not, you know.
So the Haleiwa plate lunch is arriving, so we're going to get a grind and we'll continue. Ahi lunch.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's how we eat good out here. Stay strong.
Influencers, riders.
When I was a kid, I was going to Blacks and seeing, you know, like Jack, Chris. There's a couple other Blacks Chargers too that you didn't see much of, other than she went down there. And then I know definitely watching Simon Farrar as a kid, like the Sparrow Landing movie was pretty influential, and seeing Shane and the Simpson brothers just boosting airs and ripping and being, you know, younger. That was definitely huge for me, just seeing that, and kind of like, oh, these guys are all in Australia. I'm not seeing too many, you know, Californians or US guys doing that, so I want to, it'd be interesting to try and get on that level. And also hopefully one day come out with our own video that showcases some of our surfing out here at that same level. But, you know, just over the years, it's influential people. I've always just been, I don't know, every time you go to the contest, you know, it's like just like camaraderie. Seeing everyone progress over time, and then having the older guys that see me since I was a kid, you know, always kind of giving me positive accolades to keep going, keep pushing. It's just always, yeah, been a driving force too. So definitely slacked off for a couple years, and now that I'm done with the partying and all that, I'm taking surfing a lot more seriously.
So being on Oahu, you're down on the east side of the island.
Yep.
But I mean, you can pretty much get to any surf spot pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, 20, 30 minute drive. I would do that in San Diego, easy, 45 minutes sometimes. So you could say I'm kind of central, and I think I've surfed on every side of the island now. And I would say that just moving out here, I've surfed way more. Like, I'm surfing just more often, and it's easier, you know. I'm not having to like throw on a wetsuit and do all that. Like, I can just, you know, forget my board shorts sometimes. I just go out in my shorts. Like, it's easy to go out and paddle out. So, and the waves are a lot more power, you know, just constantly. It could be 1 or 2 feet here, and it'll still have more juice than, you know, your average beach break. So that's what's just been fun. It's been really good to lay into some turns and try and go more vertical, and you know, also being around a lot of pro surfers. I've met a few guys, and it was really cool watching them live, see how they're surfing, how their body mechanics are, and trying to translate that into kneeboarding as well, but making our own adjustments.
So living in Hawaii has softened you a bit?
Definitely, yeah. I'm acclimated to the nice, warm, temperate jungle weather. That's not right. You know what I'm trying to say. I get nervous over in front of the camera.
Just ignore it.
No, but I mean, yeah, the weather out here is perfect. It's like 70, 80 all the time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I thought.
And it's not too hot, you know.
No.
It'll definitely soften up anybody after over time.
Yeah.
How's the lunch?
Lunch was fantastic. I think I might need another one though. Like in Nicaragua, when we're going down there, it's just hot. You know, shade, and there's barely any breeze a lot of time. And even when there is a breeze, it's still, you're just getting hot air. And then you try and cool off and go into the water, you get more hot. So it's like 85 degrees.
Water's hot.
Yeah.
How many times have you been down there?
Been down to Nica twice, Costa Rica once, and El Salvador once. Yeah, all epic, all super fun. Actually, Costa Rica was so-so. I didn't really hit it that well, but Nicaragua and El Salvador are definitely surf destinations and uncrowded. Like, so there's spots to surf for like.
So that's an easy segue to Amanda and Joe Taylor going down there now. They've just moved down there.
Yeah, they moved down, and I think I'm gonna plan 2023 go to down to Nicaragua, but I'll probably maybe do like a week in El Salvador at Mesada Point. Highly recommend going there, and then it's because it's got a right-hand point, a series of reefs, and then this beach break, and black sand, it's always changing. The right-hand point is epic with nobody out. And then in Nicaragua, Punta Miramar, it's just like there's a solid reef break, solid left point, and then there's epic right-hander or left-hand sands. Freight trains, it's called. Take out a boat to it, jump off. Yeah, it's awesome.
And Joe's been making your boards for a while. Let's talk some boards.
Yeah, Joe's been making my boards, I guess, for I think 2019 is when I got my first board, I want to say. Sorry, Joe, if I get that wrong. And then 2020 for the Worlds. And then we had, you know, the COVID time, so I didn't, you know, I rode what I had, and then I just got a new one recently, and they fly. They're sick. Yeah.
And you're a tall chap. Like, how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
Uh-huh.
My first board I got was like 6'3", I think like 41 liters, rounded pin. And then the second board is, I got two of the same. They're 6-foot fishes. And I want to say they're around 39 liters.
And what do you make of like the almost like two sides of the planet, like the Californian kneeboard world, the US market, and then the Aussie kind of influence?
Yeah.
You know, and then you could perhaps bolt the SA discussion in there. We're probably more aligned with Australia than. I mean, like, what do you pick up? Like, when you look at, you know, when you get to Worlds, you look at everybody's boards. Like, kind of, what is your brain doing?
There's definitely a lot of variation. It's like, just like in California, you have your progressive craft riders, you know, and they're like your underground, not much social media influence or presence with kneeboarders, like, you know, the quirky, not mainstream, you know, anti-mainstream, if anything, kneeboarders, and they're riding all kinds of crazy stuff, but, you know, it's what you love. And then we have...
Do you think those people are holding the sport back sometimes?
Holding back, I wouldn't say they're holding back. They're just, you know, they're just there. They're figures in the sense of maybe in the past they were main figures, you know, and then now it's, if anything, I think it shows just a variety of unique folk, you know. It's just like there's not one type of person for the sport. It could be anybody, you know. You could be a shortboarder and try it one time and fucking find out you love it. Yeah. Or a longboarder and, you know, give it a go and do it all. And I like to do it all too. Like I'll longboard, I'll shortboard, and body surf. But kneeboarding is definitely my passion. And I feel like the guys that are pushing the sport most are ones that are making their own boards, or working directly with the shaper, and yeah, I'm seeing, you know, there's definitely there's more tri-fin riders, I would say, these days than quad fin. But part of my goal is to try and win the Worlds on the quad fin to disprove some of these tri-fin riders that that's the only way to win a world title. But you know, I'm open to keep growing myself because I've just predominantly rode quads, and I think I'm definitely going to be stepping out and trying tri-fins and mixing up.
So do you think that's because your influential years were soaked in forefins, so that's why you're so committed to it? Or
yeah, I think it's what I know, and I didn't feel like I fully mastered it, like fully grasped the potential of them, and I feel like now I'm getting closer.
Okay.
But I also know that mixing up, throwing some variety into what you're surfing, can all of a sudden you'll feel something new. You know, you feel like, oh, I wasn't able to turn like that before, and see if that translates back to quads, or then now I'll have a better understanding of what I'm riding and how everything is operating too mechanically. That's the only way to win a world title.
Não é, você fica